here's Harpo. Bang
Oh,
a
baby boomerang. That's a different sleeve than I have too. I think I have the German one.
Don, you have this, don't you? Big Cherry.
Yep. I was just thinking about that one. That's a good one.
How about this one? It's the band Sandwich, and they're inside of a sandwich.
Oh, God. See, there's my Harpo baby boomerang.
Yeah, I got that one. Here's Chicory
with
Tip.
a heart. Oh, nice. Yep, that's one of my favorites. That hat that guy's wearing is just
it's like
too
a
good.
Crab. It's Cape Rock. Cape Glam.
That's amazing.
The guy's got like a trilobite on his face or something.
Yeah. Superhero rock and roll.
Oh, yeah. Chicory Tip.
You got to have this one, too. Harpo Teenage Queen.
Yeah, I got that. Different sleeve again, though.
So
I brought more stuff to show. This was lying around in my parents' house. I'm in San Diego.
Yes.
Oh, wow. How'd they get one?
How long was Teacher's Pet in existence for?
I don't know, 4 years maybe?
I think that's when
like
I met
98
you,
to 2002 or something.
And then
I think I met you during the beginning of Teacher's Pet.
Were you at the Bubblegum Ball at World on Wheels roller rink?
Yeah.
And what's her name? Played. Nikki Corvette played.
Yep.
And the Pinks were her backing band.
And
everyone was roller skating, and we were wearing matching pink outfits with silver stars on the butts.
Yep. And letters on the front, like T and P.
Yeah, those were our Kenny jumpsuits. The Kenny
they were good.
Like these. Full jumpsuits.
Nobody knew who Kenny was back then except maybe you and Jimmy Hay.
No, in the 90s, nobody. I really felt like I was the only person on earth that even had the Milk and Cookies album.
Yeah.
And it was and then those comps came out around 2003, the Phil King and Tony Barber comps, Velvet Tinmine, which we named our club after, came out in 2003, and they sort of coined the term Junkshop Glam, and it just stuck. And so, 20 years later, I'm still collecting the stuff, and Don's got amassed a big collection of it himself.
How many would you say you have, Don?
No, I don't have that many. I just got here's most of mine. I mean, it's I don't know if you can see that. That's most of mine there. I got probably a tenth of how many Noah has.
Don brings all of his 45s to almost all of them to every DJ gig. He's got these big road cases.
So how long? How did you two meet originally?
I went to the Utrecht fair a couple times. What?
I'm just asking.
He asked how we met.
How you met way back when? Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it was at
Teacher's
this
Pet
thing.
Days or something, right?
Yeah, it was at that roller rink when that show.
Probably
with
that's
Nikki
where
Corvette,
we met.
Partridge Family Temple, and Teacher's Pet.
Yeah. That crazy lady in the wheelchair. She was rad. What was her name?
Francine Dancer.
Yeah, and she had her own cable access TV show.
Yep. Or she would just dance around, showing off all her weird cellulite and stuff.
I saw her strolling around in that wheelchair a couple of around West Hollywood where I lived for a while.
Yeah. She was living in a doorway off Santa Monica and Gardner or something, just on the ground there. She's homeless and can't walk, but she can dance.
She was freaky.
She gets out of her wheelchair and dances around all the time, and then back to the wheelchair.
Yeah. Anyways, fond memories.
Yeah.
And you guys have been playing records together now for years. You have Velvet Tinmine, Wired Up. What's the difference between Velvet Tinmine and Wired Up? It's the same club, right?
Wired Up was the club that I was. And then we named a DJ night after it. We just did a one-off kind of DJ night at Zebulon, and then it never happened again because everybody would hang out at the smoking patio instead of inside the place, and it's this big place. And then we just never went back to there. So we just kept it at Monty Bar, calling it Velvet Tinmine.
At least at the Monty, people are trapped inside with you.
Yeah.
and they only go out in front to smoke, and it's not as much fun standing on the sidewalk as it is some she smoking patio.
That's right. I have to make good use of my green screen here. You guys got some great flyers and have forever. So
Yeah.
Beth makes the flyers.
Yeah.
She does an awesome job making those flyers.
Roger Mars made a few.
In the early days, yeah.
In the early days.
But then it was too expensive, so I just got Beth to do it. And she's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, look at these. They're beautiful.
Yeah, Beth made those ones.
So you guys do that. I've been listening to the Dub Lab shows. It's quite an archive.
Yeah.
There. It's like,
yeah, if anybody cares about these records and you want to discover new ones, maybe we have the Dub Lab show called Kitten Sparkles Glitter Box, and for the last couple of years we've been just DJing like 2 hours worth of these records at a time.
And here's behind me.
And if you go to the archive section, just type in Kitten Sparkles Glitter Box.
But I don't know if I can.
Oh yeah, there's Alan Merrill. He was on our show. He's probably not going to be on again since he died, which sucked.
Alan Merrill died of corona, dude.
Yeah, a year ago today, you guys had him on your show.
Well, it was a year ago today.
Yes, it was actually
crazy.
420.
Here's my copy of I Love Rock and Roll that Alan sent me in the mail.
Oh, fucker. I got to get one of those.
Did you guys stay in touch, like, after the show, or?
Yeah, a little bit. We were hoping that maybe one day he'd come out and play LA, and
we wanted to get him at Velvet Tinmine.
Like, it sounded like he was open to it on the show.
He played all the time in New York.
I mean,
Britney Spears is how he made his fortune. It wasn't from Joan Jett.
Do you guys own any? Did they have bootleg records?
Sorry, what?
No.
Did the Arrows have any records out at all?
I don't know if they did any albums.
They have one album. It's called First Hit. I have that. It's not as good as the singles, like Toughen Up, Touch Too Much, and I Love Rock and Roll. The singles are really where it's at.
Yeah. It's like, that's how it is with this particular genre, too, Jared. It's like, it's a singles genre. Not a lot of albums.
Yeah, most of the groups never had an album, just a single or two.
Yeah, they weren't like big enough to get to do an LP, so they just did
singles. Mabel had lots of albums.
Yeah, they were Danish. They were big fish in a small pond.
I was going to ask, what was going on in the Netherlands and that area that made in the 70s?
Everything.
Oh, dude, that's where Pantherman is from.
Oh, wait. You know what? I have
Holland is the #1 glam rock place for the 70s. There was a thriving glam scene back in the day.
I'm here with Pantherman.
Yeah, there he is.
There he is.
Can you talk? Oh, there. Can you talk a little bit about Pantherman? Like, quite a story.
We will show you his claws.
Please.
He made that jumpsuit himself, that leather jumpsuit, the Panther suit, and he played and sang everything on his 3 singles. Well, I don't know about the third one. I think he had a band on the third one, but the first 2 for sure.
Like, how many Dutch glam bands were there? God. Or bubblegum band? Was it more of a
like 100?
Well, some stuff that really wasn't thought of then as glam or bubblegum, and it was just sort of thought of as Dutch, like nader pop and nader rock, is now well within the Junkshop glam and bubblegum framework, as far as collecting and playing the things goes. So there's like an infinite amount of great Dutch glam records, even though they only tried to make so many, but a lot of the records they were making, just because I don't know what they were listening to or what was in the water, but they ended up making a lot of great glam records.
Are there still records that you come across that you've never heard of before? I mean, for either of you?
Yeah.
It happens rarely, for fewer and farther between now, but it does still happen. It's and I'm sure I'll find more things. But as far as it goes, I feel like I've gotten all the grade A stuff, but it's the B's and the C's that I'm sort of like, discovering and buying now.
Yeah, I'm still working on my A game. I got I got a lot of it. I got like a lot of the real big players. I have all the things, but there's still a lot of stuff that's missing. I started a little later than Noah did collecting this stuff, so I didn't get in on the ground floor of it where they had the good deals. This stuff was
back
literally
in the 90s. They were 99 cents.
It was literally in junk shops all over Europe, and you could just, go there with $20 and bring back a stack of records.
And what's your holy grail right now? Do either of you have one record that you're looking for in particular?
I have a few.
My holy grail is probably like Barry Rolfe and the William record. Some of those, just that are not only just super rare, but also great. Oh, and Barry Blood. That's another.
Yeah, I still haven't got a damn Barry Blood single. Poor Annie. It's a great one.
It's a tough one to find.
And it's also the most complicated, dumb riff anyone ever wrote.
Oh yeah, that riff is insane.
It's like you gotta have a calculator to remember it.
Yeah, how'd they do that?
I probably just by accident, and then it's like, oh, let me play that back. I think that sounded cool, and then they did it again.
So, how long were you guys playing records together before you decided to join forces in Hammered Satin?
Like a year, maybe?
A year or something.
Yeah.
Did something happen? Was it a long conversation, or it just made sense at a certain point?
No, I went down there because I do backing vocals. I do a lot of session work with backing vocals because I'm like a one-man Flo and Eddie kind of guy, even though I'm not as good as them. That's the kind of thing I do. And I was kind of a mercenary with that stuff. And that I was gonna get cards made saying the Wizard of Oz, but I do the doot-doots and the ahs and all that. And so Noah wanted me to come down and do some of that on the Hammered Satin record, and I did. And then it was super fun, and it sounded great. So I ended up being in the band after that.
So you guys were going to play the trifecta of Burger shows this year, with the Boogaloo, the Rama, the Burger Rama, and the Burger Mania. Is that it?
Yeah, and we were on the main stage finally at all of them. And we were DJing at all of them too. And then, of course,
coronavirus ruined it. We were going to have the best 2020 of ever, of the whole history of Hammered Satin.
I know. And then it comes along, kills Al and Merrill, and then fucks all our shit up royally too.
Nobody knows what's happening, right? Are they trying to?
Nope. Nobody knows what's happening, except, of course, President Trump.
Except President Trump, yeah.
Just ask him; he'll tell you.
We'll hope for an October Burger Boogaloo
surprise.
Anyway.
We need an October surprise.
Oh, and maybe one of those, yeah.
The good kind.
Are you still in the place with the giant vault that I was obsessed with?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, nobody lives here though. It's just me and my landlord, who also happens to be a big-time glam collector, although he doesn't really DJ out or anything. He's got like most of the records that Noah does, and he's probably even got a couple that Noah doesn't have. It's crazy.
Oh, please.
He's got a lot.
Please.
He's got a lot of them. Well, but he did give me that Romanian glam record, which was pretty good.
Yeah, it's
I'd
weird.
never heard that before.
No, I hadn't heard it before. I don't even know.
It's good.
Romanian, huh?
Yeah, the song's like 6 minutes long, which is like 2 glam songs. But and it's on an LP too. It's not even on a single. Probably couldn't fit it on a single.
You guys working on music while quarantined? Do you collaborate?
Have we been writing anything?
Yeah.
I wrote a song called Bay City Rollers Pants. A song
what's it about?
Wearing Bay City Rollers pants and just being a Bay City Roller fan.
Being a tartan whore.
Which reminds me, Teacher's Pet was called the Bay City Rollers of El Cajon Boulevard by the newspaper here. And then we played on the local television a couple of times live, and they set it up like a Top of the Pops studio.
Whoa.
And we wore our matching pink outfits, and it was great. They did
Damn.
special effects with hearts and things, and it looked like one of those 70s top of the pop videos. And then and we went back a second time, and it was freaking 9/11 happening as we were driving to the studio. So we get to the news studio, and they're all running around inside, and we're showing up with our freaking jumpsuits on, and we're like, we're here to play, and they're like, haven't you heard what happened? It was like 9/11 in process, and the plane was hitting. The second plane hadn't hit yet as we were on our way.
I hate it when these current events fuck up our glam.
Yeah, god damn it.
Stop.
Do you have a tape of the one that actually happened?
It's like, get out of here,
it's
reality.
on VHS tape. I need somebody to like help me put it up on YouTube somehow.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
I have it here at my parents' house. And then I found this while I was over here. It's a poster from the Rock and Roll Discotheque tour that we did in Sweden and Germany with Martin Axon of the Ark that I did in 2008.
Yeah, nobody knows who they are here, but they were big over there.
Oh yeah. Over in Sweden back, and then Hammered Satin went and played. We opened up for the Ark, and here's our tour poster.
Wow.
You know, back when Connor was in the band. Dan's been in the band ever since the beginning so the only original members left are me and Dan. But now Beth took over on guitar, but Connor moved back to Baltimore.
Yeah, Beth's
like
great.
A couple years ago.
And Victor on drums. That really helped kick the thing into orbit too.
Yeah. Anyway, the Ark they're like as big as like ABBA in Sweden. They're like the most famous band in Sweden. They're bigger than the what was the other famous Sweden band? Whatever. Not the White Stripes.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Ace of Base?
No. The indie band. Never mind. I can't remember their name right now.
White Flag?
The Hives. That's it. The Hives.
Oh, the Hives.
So like in Sweden, the Ark is much bigger than the Hives there. But over here in America, the Hives are much bigger. Anyway, you know what I'm saying?
I'd never really heard of the Ark.
Yeah, they're glam. They're like, they did modern glam. You know, they were around for like 20 years, and then they broke up.
Damn. Did the Schoolgirls have
we got to open up for them over there. It was great.
Did the Schoolgirls have a Swedish following? Was it Peter?
Peter was from Sweden. That's how I met the Ark guys and knew who they were and everything, you know, from Peter.
Yeah, that was very sad.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Trying to keep it uplifting.
Here's the Schoolgirls.
Hell, it looks like it says Stool Girls. Fucked up.
This one's Peter right here.
Yeah.
We'd cruise around with like silver stars on our cheeks.
Peter was the prettiest chick, and he was a dude. Yep. That was a fun band.
Yeah. And then what else can we talk about?
Well, how do you guys get hooked up with the burger folks? I mean, they just kind of seek out everything that's everything.
Here's the burgers thing. They had a band, Sean and Lee had a band called The Makeout Party, and they opened up for Schoolgirls like way back in the day. And so I knew them before they even started Burger Records, you know? And I thought they were cool because they did like they're into bubblegum music and stuff.
Sean has a great voice too. He's a great singer.
Yeah, and Sean's a collector of bubblegum records, so we have a lot in common.
He's got a lot of bubblegum records.
We've just been friends ever since. That's how that came about.
He actually, he's your competition DJing on Instagram. I think he was going for like 8 hours or something the other day. The
Quarantunes comp. They did this comp called Quarantunes. We didn't do a song on it because it's like we're all separated. I'm in San Diego, Beth's in San Juan Capistrano, Don's in downtown LA, and Victor's in San Diego. We just couldn't get it together.
Yeah,
because we're all spread out.
I've been mostly seeing Don's DJ live. events, and I've been really enjoying those. So, you know,
for some reason, a lot of people watch. I don't get it, especially first one. Oh my God, first couple.
One time he had like 150 people watching at once. It was cool.
That's a lot to me. But then we look at that Italian glam DJ guy, and he's got like 250. I'm just like, what?
Oh, well, there's this. They have like a Facebook page with thousands of followers that they do.
Oh, that'll do it.
That's why. Yeah.
It's your energy, Don. You know, you're having a good time. You're bringing joy to the rest of us who are all.
As a matter of fact, Don, you should get on there because they did have a couple of glam DJs on there.
On where? On.
It's called Yee Yee 2000. Don got me into Yee Yee records.
Well, it's but that's
yeah.
Yeah, it's spelled Yee Yee though.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're French, you would never think to pronounce it. Yeah. And it's like, it's good shit. It's all of the French sort of bubblegum girl pop, you know, like Lolita pop. It was great stuff, and it was written by cynical old like rapey white dudes, and it was performed by orchestras with orchestral directors, and it was a real big business. And they would do like covers of English and English hits and American hits, and just change the words. That's what they did in every French genre that just about back then. They just changed the words, and just suddenly it's their song, you know, not the Beatles. You know, because they had a law in France where they were only allowed to play a few non-French speaking records on the radio, and so it was fair game. You just go find a good song that was in not French and do it in French with different lyrics, and voila, it was your song, and everyone thought it was you.
Wow.
So and they, you know, they made some money, but yeah, the Yeah girls were beautiful, young, super young girls that just sang in cute little girl voices, and the hits were good. They had like a real brill building, you know, scene going on with some really great writers in France. Like Serge Gainsbourg wrote a lot of stuff, you know, for a lot of people.
Kind of a random place to throw it in, but I was wondering if you had any good Kim Fowley stories. Just, you know, thinking of someone who sort of was a.
I'll bet Don has some good ones, but mine one real quick is when I was in Schoolgirls, somebody hipped Kim Fowley to our band, and he called me on the phone, and he's like, "Turn the television down. This is Kim Fowley. Back in the 70s, we used to just walk down Sunset Strip and wear a purple lipstick, and you'd be getting laid by Playboy Playmates, and now you have to buy them vaginal reconstruction and a Porsche or something." So he would say, he had crazy one-liners, like crazy things to say every time you'd run into him. Yeah.
What was that one thing he said? Even my enemies love my cock.
Yeah, he's very.
What a weirdo.
He was a character, but
he was the best.
The Motorboat single is his best thing, I think.
You have that picture sleeve, right?
By Jimmy Jukebox. I don't have it with me. I'm in San Diego. My records are up in LA. Most of them. I just have one box here.
Yeah. Well, it looks like you brought some good ones.
But that was a masterpiece. It's just even the Red Cross guy covered it on his solo record.
Steve McDonald.
Yeah.
Were there bands that you're trying to get reunited for any like shows? Like I remember seeing that Hollywood Stars pictures from that Hollywood Stars and video show at the Whiskey, and it's like Zolar X was there and Rodney was there, and it looked like it was a lot of fun.
That was a cool night. That was a really cool. Even Lori Maddox was there. I got a picture with her, and we got a picture with the Zolar X guys.
Yeah, that was a fun night.
Don, did you ever see Zolar X back in the day?
Yeah, it's funny. I was in LA on a record foraging mission from Phoenix, and I was actually on my way up to San Francisco to move in with my weird girlfriend, Olga DeVolga, who was in that band Versus and The Lude later. So, meanwhile, I stopped in LA, and I'm staying at my friend Freddie Snakeskin's place. I'm like, I want to go see some punk rock shit. He goes, I don't know where that would be. And I look in the paper, and I see this thing says K-Rock Cabaret on La Cienega. So and they have New Wave, Kim Fowley New Wave night. I'm like, oh, I'm going to that. And so I drove, I drove over to this place, and it was on, it was a place that later became Osco's Disco on San Vicente in La Cienega. And I go in there, and there's this terrible band called Smokey playing.
Oh, I know them.
They you know, they had their hearts in the right place, but it just didn't quite, pass muster.
Their records are okay. They're not that great.
I don't even know about that. And then I got one at the time. I got it the next day when I went to a record store. I guess I'll get those guys records. Maybe they'll end up being great. But then the next band that came on, they came out in all these spacesuits, and they just looked crazy. It looked amazing. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And it was Zolar X. And Kim Fowley was there. I saw him walking around. I didn't meet him that night, but I saw him. I met him later.
They had like little Saturn rings around
the
V of the flying V on their guitars, and they had like Saturn rings on their wrists and stuff, and little antennas on their heads.
And they walked around like that on the Sunset Strip. I bet they got laid a lot.
And guess what? They wore they were in full regalia when they came to the show with the Hollywood stars in Hammered Satin at Whiskey A Go Go.
Well, I played in Zolar X. I played in Zolar X later, starting in around 2000, probably 5 or something.
Yeah, you played drums, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever meet like David Bowie?
No.
But you know what? Of any famous person that died, he's the only person I actually cried after, because he had a big impact on me.
Yeah, I mean, I think
his music.
I never saw him in concert or anything, and I regret that.
I don't cry when celebrities die unless I know who they are. I've met them or talked to them or something. It's like Alan Merrill. It's like, we knew him, we interviewed him and stuff.
Yeah, that was sad.
Or like Brett Smiley when he passed away. That was a drag. When Hammered Satin was on tour, we had him come and do an acoustic set at the Bowery Electric one time, and he was so nice, and I got to talk to him backstage a bunch, and then he died right after that.
Wow.
So a lot of the old glam guys are passing away.
Well, because they're old, just like me.
They're in their 70s and stuff now. And
I'm working on it. I'm just I got the beard.
You got the beard. What influenced you to grow out the beard and transition fully into glampa?
Well, it's actually, I got shingles like on my face, and it sucks. Don't ever get that, kids. It's bad. And so I couldn't shave. And so I'm just like, okay, fuck it, beard time. And then I kept not shaving, and I've been not shaving now for 1 year and 4 months, and it's, this is what there is. It's not quite ZZ Top, it's not quite ZZ Top, a little more Karl Marx, but
it works for you. I like it.
It's pretty funny. The ladies seem to dig it.
You're like
Kim Fowley told me. Kim Fowley told me that a long time ago. Oh no!
No more Kim Fowley nasty stuff. He's gross.
I know, just this one. But I couldn't I was having a hard time. I was between girlfriends, and I was like kvetching about it on the phone with Kim. So he'd call all the time, and you'd listen to him talk about great shit for like 2.5 hours, and then maybe you get to say something here and there. And one time I was kvetching to him about how I wasn't getting any chicks, and it was really sad, and it was like I was, and he's like, because he had said, the girls love ancient cock. I'm like, huh, gross. That's funny. Because I'm like, I know he got gross at the end, the poo poo pee pee stuff. I didn't like, but still, that's just how he talked. And then and I'm going, oh yeah, well, they don't love mine, because it's like I'm like 52 years old and there's nothing going on. He's like, well, you're not old enough yet. I was like, huh. And sure enough, boy, I'll tell you, things changed when I got old enough.
So he was correct about that.
Kim was right. He got a little much with the vulgarisms toward the end. I don't know what happened. He used to be a lot more imaginative and poetic. Like, you know, when he did that thing on the Wildman Fisher album, that was just incredible, just right off the top, this rap that he made up. He was real good that way. He was, I don't know. He did a lot of great records. Not very many of them were huge, but he produced a lot of things too, like the Hollywood Stars, for instance.
Even Kiss. He was supposed to send me some demos that were like that he did in 1973 that were like Motorboat, because he said like there was Mud and Susie Quattro and the Sweet and all that happening, and everything was happening really fast. So we had some demos that never got released, and he was going to send me them, and he never did.
And then he died.
Yeah.
I wish these people would stop that.
Yeah, it's been a bad time for that. I mean,
yeah, it's because all the good people are old and ready to go. A lot of new stuff.
You know what we need to do, Don?
Don,
we need to inspire younger generations to get into this glam rock music, the cool Junkshop stuff, so that they can make good bands, or else it's going to all die.
I know.
We're gonna die, and everything's going to be over.
Kim Fowley, once again, said a very good quote. Stay teenaged. He said it every time he'd get off the phone or leave, you know, instead of goodbye. He was like, stay teenaged.
That's some good advice.
I know. I think we've done a pretty good job of it, you know. And
definitely.
And I really hope that teenagers can learn to do that too.
Come up and ask what the records are sometimes. I let them take pictures with their cell phones, and then you see them coming back the next month, and then they'll start requesting it. You know, oh, play Spiv, oh, you beautiful child. Oh, play Nicky Bulldog. Oh, play
that Pantherman again.
Archie, Sugar was the one that I got a lot. But, you know.
I mean, I think that means you guys are doing your job. It's pretty amazing.
I wore the intro groove out on my Sugar. I got to get a new one. I play it so much.
Isn't yours on some weird type of vinyl?
I think it's styrene. Yeah, that's a fucked thing about Bubblegum and some glam is a lot of Bubblegum and some glam stuff, because it was during that time, like 68 to 72 or something, 73. Although I have Roxy Roller by Sweeney Todd, and that's styrene. That's the Bryan Adams version. You ever hear that, Jarrett?
The Bryan Adams version? No, I don't think I have.
Yeah, Bryan Adams took over as singer in Sweeney Todd when Nick Gilder left to be Nick Gilder.
Like the Bryan Adams?
Yeah.
Yeah, the lame, cheesy one. He was once glam and wore like striped tight T-shirts and bell-bottoms and stuff and platforms.
And he sang real pretty.
And he was a good singer. He was a good glam singer in the 70s.
I think his version of Roxy Roller is far superior to the already pretty great Nick Gilder version.
That reminds me, Rick Springfield was in a band in the late 60s called Zoot, and they did some bubblegum stuff and some heavy rock stuff that was it's fantastic.
Pat Smear played with him for a little while.
Who?
He did a couple. Pat Smear played a few gigs with Rick Springfield.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Have you been in touch with Pat?
Yeah, all the time. I talked to him yesterday.
How's he doing in whatever quarantine he's in?
He's doing all right. He's sick of it.
Yeah.
He's just a jet setting around, you know, with the Foo Fighters, you know, riding in style.
Right. Do you talk to anyone else? Many of your.
What? Can't say I'm jealous of the band, you know, that he's playing with, but I think it's great that he's doing it, and I think it's great that they pay him decently.
Yeah, that's a nice thing. They pay him, appreciate him, all that.
Yeah, you know, well, he probably improves that band a lot. I can't even imagine how it would be without him. You know, Dave's a nice guy, though. I always thought the Foo Fighters records were kind of, this record nerdy, but like the Foo Fighters to Nirvana were kind of like the John Entwistle solo albums to the Who. You know, they were good. All the songs are good. The playing's great, but it just wasn't that magic, you know, you know, I Can See for Miles or something.
Well, I have to ask you, I've been doing this work with these backdrops, and we've been going for a while. Wait, and this is the best I could do. I was going to show a clip, but, you know, Zoom is pretty limiting, so
Ah, so you got to do a slideshow.
I gotta do like a background slideshow. Can you see that?
Oh yeah, it's all of us from Bathtubs Over Broadway.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mentioned it the other night, and I watched it after meaning to watch it for forever, and it was really touching. Especially the musical number was amazing. Like, how long did that take you guys to film it, to do it, put it all together?
Yeah, it only took 2 days, I think, total. And we went and we sang all that stuff in that song at the studio there at Warner Brothers, nice studio, you can imagine. And it was super fun singing that stuff with those people that were on those albums, right? They're actual people from the bathrooms are coming, 2 ladies. And there was a guy that sang like an Exxon record. He sang this song called Up Came Oil. And he was there too. So it was like, weird nerdy celebrity time for me. I was like, gosh,
was the story really? It was Steve Young was a writer for Letterman who collected these industrial musical albums, and he just
I collected them too.
Right.
And I met him at the Rose Bowl flea market, and he I was selling records there with my friend John Ace Nihil. And Steve Young comes up to me and says, "Yo, do you have any of these records like, I think like Diesel Dazzle or The Bathrooms Are Going?" And I'm going, "Oh yeah, I got tons of that stuff, dude." And he's like, "What? Really?" He wasn't really anticipating anyone would actually have any of it. And so I invited him to come over to my place, and he came over and we played records for hours and got to be good pals. And then I started sending records to David Letterman for the Dave's Record Collection segment, and I did that for years. And that was fun. I was scary though. I'd be sending all these great, crazy records, and I'd have to send the actual record. It's like, who wants to do that? But I did it, and I got them all back. And then Steve would send me an occasional free record, because he knew the kind of stuff I liked. So, but I've been collecting that stuff for years. But Steve had the deep pockets, so he's got pretty much everything you can get in that industrial show tunes genre. And that John too, the other guy, that like Jello has a lot of records, but he's only got a few of these records, the industrial show tunes. But John Ward, the other collector in the thing, he's got tons, like just ridiculous amounts of stuff. That guy is a true nerd hero. Yeah, it's nerdy collecting records, I guess, but I collect a lot of weird nerdy things that I can't even talk about with other people, because they either wouldn't understand or they'd go, ew. But, we collect glam records because these records, you put them in a box, you take them with you to somewhere, and you make a fucking party, and people have fun. Little kids dance to this stuff. When I played Bubblegum and Glam, and when I was on tour with Ariel, I'd play at festivals and stuff, in like the backstage area sometimes even. And everyone's children were there too, of course. And the kids would be the first ones dancing to the Bubblegum things. It really works. I was 12 when Bubblegum happened. So I was in their target demographic. I was a victim of, what's his name? Neil Bogart's dream. Neil Bogart invented bubblegum, basically. You know that, right?
I thought that was Joey Levine.
Yeah, well, Neil Bogart pretty much hired Joey Levine and had him help him invent bubblegum. And also, he worked for A&R for Buddha Records. And he's the guy that signed up the Ohio Express. And the Lemon Pipers too. Wasn't that Green Tambourine the first bubblegum hit? Because it was kind of psych too, right? It was just coming out of psych. And,
yeah.
And it was almost all the bubblegum bands were like aspiring garage psych bands or something, or psych pop bands. And then
bubblegum and glam, the vibe is happy and celebratory and exciting and
good songwriting.
Like John said, it makes for a good party. So it instantly puts people in a happy mood. When you can't like be bitter and angry or bummed when you're listening to this stuff.
No, it really it changes everything in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
I've rarely seen records, or heard records that can galvanize a room in the way that these records can.
Yeah,
it's really
they make
nuts.
people jump up and down and go screaming. It's like when we play Daddy Maxfield Raven Rock. When we play that record,
loves that.
People run in the room screaming, and then they start dancing, because they hit that opening riff with the wah-wah pedal.
It's such a powerful production too, because it was done in an American studio, and they couldn't get that kind of bass in England at the time. That happened a little later, when Joy Division happened and all that, and PIL, then we figured out the bass thing now. But back then, only the American studios had that magic bass kick, and this record is a prime example of that. Just pure American rock and roll sound with a British.
It's funny because when talking to Lou Maxfield, he talks about how he didn't think that there was enough bass in the final mix. Like there was more bass in the mix that they wanted.
God, that's crazy.
So he was frustrated with it.
Yeah, he was trying to invent hip hop or something.
Yeah, maybe.
When are you guys DJing next? Don, you're doing dance party weekends and other stuff.
I'm trying to get Noah to fucking put on a mask and come over and DJ here.
I've been staying away from Don for a bit because
because I'm old and I'll die if I get that shit.
I've been staying away from people a bit because I was sick in March, and I don't know if I had the dumb corona or not, but I was very ill, and my lungs were all fucked up, and it lasted for like a month, from like February to March, mid-March.
Yeah, that might have been my corona.
Oh yeah, I don't know. So you been? Who knows? I've just been being safe.
And you're feeling better now, though?
Yeah, I'm like 100% now. But I was sick there for a while. And then we played that show on March 6th.
Oh, yeah.
I was just getting over it right then.
That's right.
And then they shut down the country.
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're feeling better. A month is a long time to be feverish and unable to breathe or whatever was happening.
Yeah, my lungs were all screwed up, and I was wheezing and coughing a lot. It was really bad.
Damn.
Who knows what it was? It could have just
Speaking of which, I got to spark up again. So go ahead, you guys.
But anyways, I've been keeping my distance from Don, but maybe I'll go over there when I feel like it's safe, and we'll DJ. But I could DJ on Facebook Live. I did it once, but I'm just doing it from my little portable Crosley 45 player.
I have these like giant JBL studio monitors that really help it have a little more bass presence, and then a lot of stuff.
Better at Don's place.
I've been wondering how you did that. If you just you had like a phone tripod mount or.
No, there's no tripod mount. I just sort of set it down in front of the DJ mixer, and then I kind of dance around a little bit so people won't get too bored, and I've just used the built-in mic in the phone. It's like the least technology possible.
It works out pretty well. I've been pretty impressed.
That's good, because it sure is easy.
Well, it's working. You guys could try Zoom. You could fade back and forth with the two of you.
You want to see a rare record?
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's Prowler, Pale Green Driving Man.
Yeah, pale green. And what was that for? That Humber?
How good is that title?
It was like a humper, right? That was the name of the van, Humber. And they just said,
Prowler was before they were called Mandrake Steam Paddle. They were like a psychedelic band.
Right. Yeah,
and
this was
like a glam record. Prowler.
This was like a phase in every band back then. Spinal Tap story. Glam was like one of those things everyone had to do. Like everyone had to go disco when disco happened.
They had a flower power band, yeah.
Yeah, they had to have a flower power band, then they had to have a freak beat band, then they had to have a glam band, a bubblegum band.
A lot of the 60s freak beat dudes and psychedelic guys became glamsters in the 70s.
That's right. Mark
like the
Bolan,
Smoke.
I mean, well, I forgot his band. John's
Children?
John's Children.
Dude.
The Smoke were funny.
John's Children came to San Diego in 1999 and played a reunion gig at the Casbah with Martin Gordon from Sparks and the Radio Stars on bass. And Chris Townsend from the Juke.
Right.
And so I had the after party at my house, and like Mike Stax and all those people, all the 60s people, they came over to our party house where we would play with William Martin from Rebel Rouser Records in New York. And the John's Children guys came over, and they were all freaked out because I had like a picture of John's Children on my wall. I had the Jet album. I had the Juke album, 45s, and they were autographing them all. It was just the coolest thing ever to meet those guys.
Well, bet. Noah's never got a shortage of shit to make me jealous with.
Wait, what do you got there, Noah?
It's a French glam record by Dick Rivers, sung in French. You got to get this one, Don. It's not that expensive.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Dick Rivers.
You know, is that anything like the NASCAR guy, Dick Trickle?
Where do you guys find out about like the next record that you need to get from 40 plus years ago?
I usually find out from
YouTube.
Noah or somebody.
YouTube, and then there's like Record Nerd websites and blogs. A really good one is Robin Will's blog.
Pure Pop.
Pure Pop. And there's a few others. People aren't blogging about it as much anymore. They're just uploading it to YouTube.
Right.
Yeah, and actually, it's funny. Noah and I are super into Harpo, the singles, and neither of us had ever heard Baby Boomerang, and it's evidently on his album.
Well, I had heard it, but I just didn't have it for the longest time. I had like the other Harpo stuff, Teenage. Yeah.
But Baby Boomerang, what a great track, and Teenage Queen. It's hard to beat my Teenage Queen. That's like that's a hell of a record. They couldn't get written today.
No, it's just stomping all the way through.
It's stomping, and then this guy creeping around a high school waiting for his 15-year-old girlfriend.
Yeah, you're not going to hear those type of lyrics nowadays, no.
Nah, little risky.
Don, when is your? Oh my God, it's Monday. It's just the beginning of the week. You just had your sets, right?
Yeah, I just did them. Yes, I had sets, and it was wonderful. That I had 2 sets this weekend. I had Friday and Saturday, 3 to 6. I was doing 3 to 7, but oh my God, I started keeping playlists. I played about 62 to 63 singles per session, 3 hours. I don't even know. I wasn't doing playlists when I did 4 hours.
Anything over 2 hours is like overkill.
Yeah, but 3 hours I get more tip.
Yeah. What else are you going to do over there, Don? You got to do it for 4 hours.
What Noah's holding up there is the definitive Junkshop Glam record. This is, if there were no other Junkshop Glam records, but this one, it would still be the best genre. It's Iron Virgin. Rebels Rule.
Look at the chastity belt. It says no entry.
Yeah, the lead guy. They were, and they would go, they tried to make American football uniforms with the helmets and everything like a thing. They tried to do that.
Yeah, they couldn't get actual NFL like football helmets with the mask, so they made their own. They welded like bars across like motorcycle helmets or something.
Yeah.
And they wanted to look like American football players, but then they had the big stacked silver platform boots with football uniforms on and their hair hanging down. And they were working the Virgin angle.
That's
and they would
really
play
weird.
In those helmets?
I never got to see him. But, speaking of Kim Fowley, for whatever reason, in the mid-'70s, that song, Rebels Rule, turned up on a Runaways album credited to Kim Fowley and the Runaways. And it was called California Paradise. And it was
they ripped off the riff.
Yeah, and it was really, really bad too. It was really nothing even close. I'm sorry, Runaways. I mean, you're great. That was like when you have the Iron Virgin version to compare it to, it's like, you know. And it was way
Cherry
too
Bomb
long.
is where it's at, dude. You just play that song and everybody
And the
loves.
arrangement was wrong too. Cherry Bomb was killer. You can't go wrong with Cherry Bomb. I like a lot of their songs actually, but and Kim was pretty ubiquitous back then, and he really did a lot of stuff. He was like the jester in the palace of rock, you know, and he really did a lot of crazy things. He had his fingers in a lot of weird pies, literally and figuratively, I guess.
Don, you have this one?
Oh, whoa, the different sleeve. Yeah,
Les Merrillines.
Yeah, that's the best. I got in an argument with my girlfriend Juliet, R.I.P. Well, I don't know. She might be alive. I haven't heard from her in a week. But she's not my girlfriend anymore, but hopefully she's still alive anyway. But she always chided me for filing that one under L instead of M.
Which one of you guys is more organized with your records? Like, are you both like meticulous? Like when you're out at the club,
he
like
keeps his in nicer shape, and he has a lot more of them. And I beat the hell out of mine, but I keep them in pristine alphabetical order.
It's a good talent to have.
You need to alphabetize them, or else you can't find something you're looking for in a pinch.
No worse feeling than you can't find that one record that you gotta play because the inspiration just hit you because of the last record Noah played or something.
Or somebody requests something and you can't find it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, check out the books I've been reading real quick before I bounce.
Let's check this out.
Juke. The Ultimate Guide to Juke.
Oh, nice.
These guys, Juke, the Bay City Rollers ripped off their look. They were trying to be Rudies, you know?
Like Rude Boys?
Yeah.
What era was Juke?
Omnic, she's from Venus. Not science fiction.
Oh, nice. And it's one of those things, one of those covers with the graphic is like, oh, I have a computer. Look.
She was on the Phil Donahue show telling people that she's an alien from Venus.
I was gonna say, nice. It looks like you got it off of like a current affair or something.
Yeah, it's that same kind of graphic.
Yeah. Isn't it great?
It's a little bit blurry and it goes all the way over the edge of the page. You know, it's very computer.
Okay, any more questions before I go?
What are some of the big hits, Noah, for us? What are some of our faves that we play?
Well, I'll just really quickly Angel, Little Boy Blue.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Spiv, Oh You Beautiful Child, Daddy Maxfield, Raven Rock,
Teenage Queen,
Barry Rolfe, Beat Me Aboard Mr. Spock, Scarface, Tootsie Roll Baby.
Oh, great. Oh, don't forget Minnie Marianne, Paul
Cass. You know, there's a bunch. There's thousands of them, but
American
those are like
Jam
some of the
Band.
top ones, you know.
Yeah, seriously. That's why I bring all my damn records every time, is because, you know, all the ones I bring, which is a lot, are good.
Do you want to play us out with one of those, Noah?
Yeah.
Are you equipped to do that?
Notice? How about the Eggy? Nah. How about Heart?
Didn't we just hear Heart? Oh, no, that wasn't Heart. You were just showing the sleeve. Oh, here's Black Fire. This is great, too. This is sort of on the rockabilly side of the spectrum. It's amazing. Do it. Come on and do it. Man, even at these low volumes, it gets me boogieing.
Hey guys.
I know. Thank you, sir.
Edbert just got into the waiting room.
Oh man, well,
let's stick around for a minute for Edbert.
Okay. I mean, I have nowhere to go, really.
Yeah, it's not like I'm doing anything. Shit, I do 3-hour DJ sets just on the spur of the moment, just for fun, playing weird, crazy children's records and shit here, you know. So I'll do whatever. I really don't care. The only thing I'm gonna do after this is just go back to sleep.
I mean, it's all you can do, really.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing what I can to smoke up enough of this weed, so where I feel like I've really truly celebrated the high holy day.
Yeah, I kind of fucked up. I didn't really announce 420. I didn't know if there'd be
Well, it's
5 people or 100 people here.
Weed isn't really a big glam drug, or a punk drug, but all us punks smoke it. I was never glam back in the day because I wasn't allowed, because I lived in Phoenix and I wasn't allowed to go to LA by myself.
Oh.
So I missed glam. I never got to go to Rodney's English Disco. I think that's what I'm using the rest of my life to make up for,
How did you never go to Rodney's English Disco?
Because I lived in Phoenix with my parents.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, no. And I didn't have a car either. So it was just like, that seemed impossible at the time. I was just like a dirthead in high school, getting stoned all the time and listening to weird Stockhausen records.
Where are you from,
and
like
I really
Prescott?
wanted to go be glam. I wore platforms and makeup all over the place. I risked death daily by dressing up because I think I was the only person in Phoenix that was into glam.
And then you just became a germ from Phoenix.
Yeah, well, I missed glam, and just like so many people in the LA scene, most of them were teenagers, young teenagers, like 15 to 18, and they had just missed glam. Basically, they wanted to be glam, and then glam suddenly was over, very suddenly, because glam barely even happened in America, and when it ended, it was very definitive, and then that's when punk rock started to be the hip, cool thing. And so everyone was like, okay, well, I guess we'll just spike our hair up and not have platforms, and we'll be punk. So that's how glam happened in LA. Punk came straight out of glam. I mean, that's how punk happened in LA. It came straight out of glam. It wasn't like about, skinheads or reggae or whatever it was in England. It's like punk came straight out of glam in LA. Like, it was people that just got in on the tail end of glam and then suddenly, whoa, wait, glam's dead? What am I going to do? Oh, yeah, there's punk. So that's what it got on it so early here, too. Like, in New York, in punk rock, the median age was 30. And in LA, the median age was 16. So it was a young, teenage, crazy rock and roll scene here. And that's why I loved it. So the glam scene here was crazy and cool too. But, not as cool as in Europe where they actually had glam. They were like, here we had Zolar X, Alice Cooper, New York Dolls, and that's, I think that's about it. There really wasn't much else. Milk and Cookies over in New York, but that was almost more Bubblegum Sparks,
Well, I mean, Celebrity Skin was glamish, right? I know it's not the same.
Yeah, we were doing glam. We were doing 70s glam in the era of 80s glam. And all the 80s glam people thought we were dorks. And we thought they were idiots. And with no style, And so we basically, so we could play with those bands because they didn't care. We weren't looking to get signed by labels like they were looking to get signed to. We didn't really think about that much. And we were totally different. So we got to play with a lot of those bands. They were our friends, but, we weren't part of that really. We were definitely doing a 70s glam thing. Yeah, there's a record by Frenzy called Poser that when I heard it, I was, it's a 70s glam thing. When I heard it, I was like, oh my God, this is what Celebrity Skin was trying to do. And it sounded exactly like the perfect Celebrity Skin record. Like if our record was like this record all the way through, we would have been, well, I don't know if huge. We would have been huge in maybe the 70s, but it would have been definitely a dream record. As it is, it's really hard for me to listen to that Celebrity Skin album, that fucking gated reverb snare that they put on it. Ugh. It's like, whatever, we should have just done our album like 3 years earlier. You know what?
Anyway. I could have gone to was that Phantom's book release thing.
Oh, I wish I would have got to play.
Oh yeah, that's right. Like that. Like what happened with that?
My band, the Snow Snake Orchestra, we do 45 grave songs. And my band, the Snow Snake Orchestra, Weasel Walter had come in from New York to play drums. And we had, I put a whole band together to do this. And we woodshedded for, weeks and got really good at doing these songs. And we had Ariel Pink singing and Neon and waiting and waiting and waiting. They started the show too late, and they tried to get 7 bands in one room on one stage with equipment changeovers and everything, and DJ sets in between, starting at 9 till 1:30. What happened was it didn't even end up starting until after 10, and so we never got to play. Basically, the band that was supposed to play right before us got to play last because they just cut it off. And it sucks. A lot of people went to see us too, and we were so good. We're recording right now though with me and Ariel, Weasel Walter, this guy Wilton James, and our friend what's his name on guitar. So it's at Paul Rossler's studio. And we did a 45 grave song recently. We recorded it.
I mean, that sounds amazing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's Andy on guitar. Sorry. Andreas. He's a Greek guy.
Where'd you find him?
Well, he's this very fashionable kid. I used to call him the ultimate hipster because he'd have every kind of Gucci version of the ultimate hipster thing to wear in like the early 2010s. And it was kind of funny, but then, he's actually a shredder on guitar. It's really nuts.
I look forward to hearing anything from you guys.
And he looked great that night. I was really sad we didn't get to play because everyone looked amazing. Andreas had like fishnet stockings and platforms and just looked like, he looked great. Neon Music looked incredible. She's like a cross between like Marilyn Monroe and Nancy Spungen, and is like a rock and roll person, but trans woman. They did, the bless their hearts for doing it, but they did a kind of terrible job of organizing it. We should have got to play it. It's sad, but we'll play somewhere in the future if anyone ever plays anywhere again.
Yeah.
Hopefully the trifecta will continue of Burger Records things, and Hammered Satin will rule them all. And that'll happen sometime in the fall or whenever, next year. I don't know. It's pretty crazy, this whole thing, right?
It's pretty crazy. Yeah.
I never had a thing like this happen in my lifetime, and I'm old.
Yeah, I don't think any of us really know what to do with it.
I guess
people are dropping out. You want to call it a 420?
Yeah.
Well,
blaze one for the Glamsters, everyone.
Thank you, Don, and let's be in touch. And to a future where there's an in real life again. Yeah,
that'd be nice, right?
We'll see.
We can go jump around to these goddamn Glam records somewhere soon, I hope.
I hope so.
All right. See you later, man. Thanks for having us on.
Thanks for being here.
Hell yeah.
Talk to you later.
Party.